Let's name this molecule. If we look at this molecule, we can see that there's something that pops out, and that is the double bond between the first and the second carbon. That makes this an alkene. So it's going to have the suffix "ene" on the end. And if we count the number of carbons, there are 3. So this molecule is called propene. Now, the double bond does come off the first carbon, but it's not necessarily, because propene can only have the double bond coming off the first carbon, and it can never come off the second carbon to a third carbon. So we just call it propene. Okay, when we look at this molecule, we can see here that they've drawn an alkene, but someone's trying to illustrate something about how the groups are arranged around the double bond. So we need to remember that whenever we have a double bond and that will stop rotation, we look at each carbon, and we look to see if there are 2 different groups or atoms are coming off each carbon. And if there are, then it might be a cis or a trans arrangement. This is in a trans arrangement, the hydrogens. They double bond is coming off the second carbon. So we are going to also, there are 4 carbons in total. So this is in a trans arrangement or a cross. Double bond off the second carbon. There are 4 carbons in a row. So this is called trans-but-2-ene. Okay, so let's see if we can name this molecule. If we have a look at this, we can notice 2 things. One is we can draw a chain, the longest chain with this double bond in. We can notice that's 3 carbons long, so it's going to be propene. We can see that there is also a branch coming off, a CH3 group. That's a methyl group. The methyl group can only ever come off the middle carbon, because if it came off any of the first carbons, it would then be 4 carbons in a row, and this would be called butene. So we don't need to give a number for this methyl group, and this molecule is just called methyl propene. Okay, so let's look at this molecule. We can see that there is a double bond. So this is going to be an alkene, and the suffix at the end of it will be an "ene." We are likely going to put a number in front to say where the double bond comes off. We also notice that they've drawn this alkene in a certain arrangement that shows the 2 hydrogens on top. And if we look more carefully, we can see each of the hydrogens on the double bond has 2 different atoms group, an H, a CH3, off them. So we can have 2 different types of geometric isomers called cis and trans isomers. In this case, both hydrogens are on the top. So this is, or they could be both on the bottom. This is a cis isomer. And we can see the double bond starts from the second carbon. So this is called cis-but-2-ene. Okay, let's see if we can name this molecule. Let's look at how long the chain is. It's 4 carbons long, so this is going to be a but. Notice also that we can see a double bond between the first and the second carbon, so this is going to have the suffix "ene." The double bond is coming off the first carbon. We always give it the lowest possible number, so we're going to call this molecule but-1-ene. Okay, so if we look at this molecule here, we can see a couple different things. There is a double bond in our longest chain we draw, which is 4 carbons long, so this is a butene. The double bond is coming off the first carbon, so it's but-1-ene. We can also see that there is a methyl group, and the methyl group, if we start numbering from the double bond, is going to be coming off the third carbon. Now, when it comes to methyl groups and double bonds, the double bonds always have priority when we assign numbers. So if we had assigned the numbers from the left to the right, that would have been incorrect, because we should give the lowest number to the alkene first. So if we go ahead and name this, this is going to be called 3-methyl-but-1-ene. Okay, so let's have a look at this molecule here and see if we can name it. We can see that there is a double bond present, and if we draw the longest chain with the double bond included in it, we can see there are 4 carbons, so this has the prefix but. We can see that there's a double bond. It's coming off the second carbon. So this is going to be but2-ene. And we're going to number in such a way that our branch has the smallest possible number. So this is going to be coming off the methyl group's going to come off the second carbon, and we're going to call this molecule 2-methyl-but2-ene. Okay, so let's have a look at this molecule. We're going to try and name it. First thing we notice is there is a double bond between two carbons coming off the first carbon. We're going to draw our longest chain with a double bond in. That is 4 carbons, so this is going to be a butene. The double bond is coming off the first towards the second carbon, so it's going to be called but1-ene. And we also notice there is a CH3, a methyl branch coming off the second carbon. So let's put that all together. There is a methyl off the second carbon, is but1-ene, so the name for this molecule is 2-methyl-but1-ene. Okay, so let's have a look at this molecule. We can see here that this molecule has a double bond. There are 2 branches that come off. Let's find the longest chain with the double bond in. That is the 4 carbons in the longest chain. The double bond comes off the first carbon, so this is going to be but1-ene. The methyl groups, which that's the CH3 groups, they come off the second and the third carbon. So this is going to be called 2,3-dimethyl. Remember, the di means that there are 2 of the same, or 2 of the methyl groups, but1-ene. 2,3-dimethyl-but1-ene.